Hey guys, I'm Andrew Evers, and we are here with John McFarland. You are the CEO of Sonos.
That's correct.
Which actually sounds like a really cool job since you guys are all into the music thing.
It's a fun job, mostly because of all the great people I get to work with. Yeah.
Okay, so today John's going to be showing us something new, something we've been waiting for a long time. But I won't jump the gun. I'll let you give us the announcements. So you have two big things you want to share today. What are they?
Yeah, there are two pieces today. One is we've really redefined radio from internet radio, which we've supported from inception, to becoming the world of radio anywhere on the planet. And of course, Sonos, our mission is to fill your house with music and do it from any content source on the planet. And so we really made a big step on radio. And then the second piece is the iPhone, the Sonos controller for the iPhone, which brings a wonderful device control for any iPhone or iTouch user.
Okay, so let's get into both of those first.
Sure.
It's a big task when you say fill your house with music from any source on the planet. So do you want to give us a little more information on where that came from and what you're doing?
Absolutely. We're really redesigning the home stereo for the digital music age, and people have broadband internet connections in their house, so that's the perfect opportunity to pull content from anywhere on the planet. And of course, you want to play it in different places of your house, so we have a wireless system that allows you to place units anywhere you want to listen to the music. It forms a mesh network and then pulls the content off the broadband internet connection for a variety of services, from internet radio to Pandora, Rhapsody, Last.fm, Napster, a whole category of different content providers.
Okay, and so if you guys have never used a Sonos device or the system, it's basically, as John just explained, a mesh network created by different devices that hook up to speakers, or you can hook speakers up to them depending on which ones you get, and you just have different zones of your house that can play the same music or different music, and everyone can have their own preferences, and there's a controller, and I just think it's the best thing that I've used to enjoy music in my home. But the one thing that I expressed a concern about recently was wanting a touchscreen Sonos controller, and now you guys have an iPhone app here.
That's right. So
let's bring it in here, actually, so we can get a good close look and just kind of walk us through what we can do with this app.
Okay, so you can see, you can load the app in, drop it on your favorites bar, and you activate it. It'll immediately pop up, and it's showing us in the living room. Terry Gross is playing a Fresh Air program, which is part of the new software we're doing. Now, the two concepts in Sonos are where you're playing, and that's the zones button, and we're in the living room, and what you're playing, which is the music, and we're playing a Terry Gross episode right now. Of course, you can choose from your music library, which might be anything you've got on your home computer, or your Apple or your PC that you've ripped, to other sources like you can see Last.fm on there, which is a wonderful new content service and new to Sonos that will suggest a lot of new content for you if you're a Last.fm user. Napster is a subscription service, gives you access to 5 million plus tracks of music. Pandora is a wonderful service. You express a track or a artist you like, and they'll recommend a bunch of things for you to play. Rhapsody is a subscription service. Wonderful service up here in Seattle that lets you have access to their libraries and build your own library. Sirius, of course, is the Sirius service delivered over your broadband connection, so that's really nice in your house. You may not have good reception for Sirius, and over Sonos it's great. Sonos playlist, so you can put combinations of music from any of these sources together for a party or otherwise. And new to this software is radio. So what we've done really is
so before you jump into radio, all those sources you mentioned have tons of content, millions of pieces of content. And the one thing that you mentioned was wanting to bring radio from all over the planet. So, that's right. And it sounds like radio is how you're going to get there, basically. Is that correct?
Well, any of these content services are actually drawing from a variety of different places, but radio is probably the most obvious one. If you're from New York City and you've got a few stations you like from New York City, but you're living in Seattle now, you've got no way to listen to that.
Right.
We've brought the New York City radio stations to your living room in Seattle, and even if you want to listen to some stations from Radio Classic Paris, you've got it all in the palm of your hands, even though that source is on the other side of the planet.
Right. So let's do that. We're actually here in Seattle right now. You're visiting us here at Gear Live headquarters. Show us what we can do here from Seattle, what we can listen to if we wanted to from some, not even out of the state, but even out of the country.
Okay, well, for example, just out of the state, I threw New York City in your local radio favorites, so we can pull that up, and as you can see, these are just like the tuner on your radio station dial. If you were in New York City, you can pick any of these, and you might want to be listening to this ESPN station. You click it, select it, and off it starts playing. So, we've got a lot of other options. For example, you can listen to, there we go, it's up and running. You can listen to podcasts under the same situation. So, for example, I think we had earlier some Terry Gross on here. Mm-hmm. If you caught a minute of the most recent radio show of Fresh Air,
right.
You want to listen to the whole thing we were talking about. So you do a search for a show, and then we do Fresh. Bear with me while I type upside down. And we're looking for maybe recent shows because we just heard one. There's Fresh Air. And there we've got the list.
Now there's a listing of...
Maybe we'll be listening
episodes.
to, this episode of her podcast on R&B past in the way I was seeing it. So now if you want to go international, I think you asked about, we'll go to radio, and maybe we'll go by location. So we're interested in some maybe stations in France. So, and of course, you can bookmark any of these and make them your favorites. So if you're a fan of Paris, there's the Paris radio stations. So now what we're looking at is a
listing of radio stations in Paris.
That's right.
If any of these are selected, we'll just start hearing.
That's exactly right. So I'll select one up, and it's going to ask me to play it, and we're listening to that station. So it brings the world to your fingertips.
Is the exact same thing that people in Paris who are tuned to that station are hearing right now.
That's exactly right.
Okay.
Yep. So that that's a digital music system in the 21st century.
Right, in the palm of your hand. Which
all in the palm of your hand.
Still blows me away.
That's right. I'll put it in the palm of your hand.
Yeah. Well, you may not get this back. So give us the details on when we can see this launch, how much it's going to cost, and things like that.
The iPhone application is free. So again, our mission is fill your house with music.
That's a good price.
There'll be a variety of ways to control it. We have a controller, as you know, that you can use.
Right.
The iPhone controller is a great avenue. There's applications on Windows and Apple to control the unit. We call them zone players, so the units that generate the sound, and a zone player 90, which would attach to your home theater receiver or powered speakers, that's $349, and the zone player 120, which you would attach to your speakers, I think you've got one over here, is $499. So, and you can grow those to 32 rooms if you want.
Right. Now, just give us some information on what the difference is between the version on the iPod or iPhone versus the actual Sonos remote control.
Okay. The Sonos remote control can use our mesh network, and it's got a scroll pad with more buttons, more hard buttons than the Apple iPhone or iTouch application. The Apple iTouch application has a really nice keyboard on the touchscreen that helps you with search. You saw a demonstration with that. Sonos controller does a little better job. For example, one of the nice applications of Sonos is you can put it by your bedstand and it'll wake you up in place of your alarm clock. Sonos controller is unmatched for that. Mm-hmm. The iPhone's a wonderful thing if you're comfortable with that interface. It's really what some people love, the applications on the PC and on on the Mac platform, and that's their chosen environment. It's really up to you how you want to control it.
Right, and as we were talking earlier, people can actually get an iPod Touch with the Sonos application for less money than the actual Sonos remote control. And you said you're okay with that because your goal isn't to sell remote controls. Your goal is to
fill your house with music,
yep. Which is very rare and refreshing this day and age, especially coming from the CEO of the company.
Yeah, it's October 28th is the date, is the last question you asked me.
Oh, yes, October 28th. Yeah. Sometime on that day, you can go to the Apple App Store and grab the Sonos.
And also, the Sonos firmware will be available. One of the unique things we do, as you know well, is when we release firmware, it goes available to everybody on the planet that has a Sonos, and you can upgrade and have advantage of all the new functionality. So that will be available on the 28th as well.
Very cool. I want to thank you for stopping by and giving us a look at the new system, the new features you guys have, especially here on the iPhone. Until next time, I'm Andrew Edwards. Stay tuned for more tech news through the eyes of GearLive.com.